The sky turned dark as the massive Drakari warship broke through Earth's atmosphere. People in cities across North America looked up in fear. The ship was unlike anything humans had ever built, smooth black metal with glowing blue lines that pulsed like veins. Inside the ship, Commander Ezak stood at the control center. He was 7 feet tall with scaled skin that shimmered between green and purple. His amber eyes glowed in the dim light of the bridge. The other Drakari crew kept their distance from him, moving carefully around his massive form. "Scan complete, Commander," said a smaller Drakari. "Human defenses are primitive. Their weapons cannot harm our shields." Ezak nodded slowly. He had conquered 17 worlds before Earth. None had presented a real challenge. He expected this planet would surrender quickly, just like the others. "Begin the landing sequence," Ezak ordered. "Send the message to their leaders." On Earth, panic spread quickly. The alien ship was broadcasting the same message in all Earth languages. "We are the Drakari. Your world now belongs to us. Resistance will result in destruction." In Washington, D.C., military leaders gathered in an emergency meeting. General Frank Davis slammed his fist on the table. "We need to strike now. Use everything we have." "Our missiles can't even reach their ship," said Air Force Colonel Carroll White. "The few that got close were destroyed instantly." President Gary Wilson looked tired. He had been awake for 36 hours straight, since the alien ship first appeared. "What options do we have?" he asked. The room fell silent. No one had an answer. Meanwhile, in a small research facility in Colorado, Chief Science Officer Nathan Miller watched the situation unfold on multiple screens. Unlike the military leaders, Nathan wasn't focused on weapons or defenses. He was studying the alien message, looking for clues about their language and culture. "They communicate directly, no diplomatic phrasing," he told his team. "Their language structure suggests they value hierarchy and clear power structures." "How does that help us?" asked his assistant Ben Yang. "They're going to kill us all anyway." Nathan shook his head. "If they wanted to destroy us, they would have done it already. They want something else." The Drakari ship landed in an open field in Nebraska. Military forces surrounded the area, but kept their distance as ordered by the president. No one wanted to provoke the aliens. A large door opened on the side of the ship. Commander Ezak stepped out alone. He carried no visible weapons, but he didn't need any. His body was a weapon. Powerful muscles moved under his scaled skin, and his claws could tear through metal. News cameras captured his image, broadcasting it worldwide. People watched in horror as the alien warrior surveyed his surroundings with cold, calculating eyes. Nathan Miller saw the broadcast and made a decision. He packed a small bag with his research notes and a prototype translation device his team had been developing. "Where are you going?" Ben asked, alarmed. "To meet him," Nathan replied calmly. "That's suicide. Did you see those claws? Those teeth?" Nathan smiled slightly. "If they wanted us dead, we would be dead already. There's something else happening here, and I'm going to find out what it is." As Nathan drove toward Nebraska, military checkpoints tried to stop him, but his government clearance was high enough that they eventually let him pass with warnings. By nightfall, he reached the perimeter around the alien ship. Soldiers looked at him like he was crazy when he explained his plan. "No one goes near that thing," a surgeon told him. "President's orders." "Call this number." Nathan handed him a card. "Tell them Nathan Miller needs authorization to approach the ship for scientific purposes." 20 minutes later, against all protocols and common sense, Nathan was walking alone across the empty field toward the alien ship. The Drakari commander watched him approach, curious about this single human who dared to come forward when all others stayed away. Nathan Miller walked slowly across the field toward the Drakari ship. The grass crunched under his feet in the early morning frost. His breath made small clouds in the cold air. Behind him, soldiers watched through binoculars, their hands tight on their weapons. Azak stood at the base of his ship's ramp, watching the human approach. The alien commander's head tilted slightly, showing his curiosity. No prey had ever walked willingly toward him before. Humans were smaller and weaker than most species he had conquered, but this one showed unusual courage. When Nathan was about 20 feet away, Azak raised one clawed hand. "Stop there, human." Nathan obeyed, surprised that the alien spoke English. "You've studied our languages," he said. "We study all potential conquests," Azak replied. His voice was deep and rough, like stones grinding together. "Your leaders hide in bunkers while sending messages of surrender. Yet you come here alone. Why?" Nathan took a small device from his pocket. "This is a more advanced translator than whatever you're using. It might help us understand each other better." He placed it on the ground between them. Azak stepped forward, making the earth shake slightly. He picked up the small device with his massive claws, examining it carefully. "Your technology is primitive," Azak said, "but you show intelligence by attempting communication instead of futile attacks." "We're not all the same," Nathan replied. "Some humans want to fight. Others want to understand. I'm one of the second group." The alien warrior studied Nathan closely. His amber eyes seemed to glow brighter. "In 17 conquered worlds, no one has ever approached me this way." "Maybe that's why they were conquered," Nathan suggested. Unexpectedly, Azak made a sound that might have been a laugh. "You have courage, little human, or perhaps just foolishness." "I'm curious about your people," Nathan said. "Why do the Drakari conquer other worlds? What do you want from Earth?" Azak seemed surprised by the question. "We take what we need. It is our way." "But what do you need?" Nathan pressed. "Resources, living space, knowledge." The alien warrior was silent for a moment. "No one has asked our reasons before." In the distance, a military helicopter flew closer, breaking the moment. Azak looked up sharply, his posture becoming threatening again. "Tell your military to keep their distance," he growled. Nathan pulled out a radio. "This is Miller. Please move that helicopter back immediately. I'm in no danger." After a tense moment, the helicopter turned away. Azak relaxed slightly. "Your leaders fear me," Azak said. "As they should, but you do not show fear." "Why?" "I'm scared," Nathan admitted. "But fear doesn't help us solve problems. Understanding does." Azak circled around Nathan slowly, examining him from all angles. "You are physically weak, even for a human. No natural defenses, no significant muscle mass. Yet you face me directly." "Physical strength isn't everything," Nathan replied. "Indeed," Azak said, stopping in front of him again. "Your species has survived despite many weaknesses. That interests me." From inside the ship, another Drakari called out in their language. Azak responded sharply, then turned back to Nathan. "My officers think I should kill you as an example," he said casually. Nathan swallowed hard, but kept his voice steady. "And what do you think?" "I think you might be useful," Azak replied. "Return tomorrow. Come along again. We will continue this discussion." Nathan nodded. "I'll be here." As he walked back toward the military perimeter, Nathan's legs felt weak. He had just had the first peaceful conversation between a human and a Drakari warrior. Behind him, Azak watched him go, his alien mind filled with unexpected thoughts. At the perimeter, Major Linda Foster met Nathan. "Are you insane?" she demanded. "That thing could have torn you apart." "But he didn't," Nathan pointed out. "He talked to me. And he wants to talk more tomorrow." "The president needs to hear about this," Linda said. Nathan nodded. "Tell him I need 24 hours before any military action. I think there's more to these aliens than we understand." As darkness fell over the field, lights inside the alien ship glowed blue and purple. Inside, Azak faced questions from his officers about why he had spared the human. For the first time in his long career of conquest, the fearsome commander had no simple answer. Word of Nathan's meeting with Ezak spread quickly. By morning, news channels worldwide showed grainy footage of the human scientist talking with the alien warrior. Most people thought Nathan was either incredibly brave or completely crazy. In the underground command center 50 miles from the landing site, President Wilson met with his crisis team. Military leaders pushed for immediate action, while the aliens seemed distracted by Nathan. "We could hit them with everything we have," General Davis suggested, "while this Miller guy has the commander's attention. And start an interstellar war we can't win," argued Secretary of State Ellen Reed. "Their ship survived atmospheric entry without a scratch. Our weapons would be useless." The president looked at the live feed showing the Drakari ship. "What do we know about this scientist, Miller?" A young aide handed him a file. Nathan Miller, 35, Chief Science Officer at the Colorado Research Institute. Brilliant but unconventional. His colleagues describe him as obsessed with communication theories and too trusting. "Too trusting is right," muttered General Davis. "He's walking into that alien ship today." On the field, Nathan approached the Drakari vessel for his second meeting. This time, a small door opened in the side of the ship instead of the main ramp. Ezak gestured for Nathan to enter. "You actually came back," the alien said, sounding impressed. "I said I would," Nathan replied, stepping inside. He tried to hide his amazement at the ship's interior. The walls seemed alive, pulsing with light that followed their movements. Ezak led him to a room with a large window overlooking Earth. 2 seats faced each other, one sized for the massive Drakari, one clearly built for a human. "You made this for me?" Nathan asked, surprised. "We study human physiology," Ezak said simply. "Sit." Nathan sat down, noticing that despite being comfortable, the chair gave him no advantage. He remained much lower than Ezak's eye level. "My superiors questioned my decision to speak with you," Ezak said. "They believe humans are too primitive to negotiate with." "And what do you believe?" Nathan asked. Ezak's scales shifted color slightly, showing bands of deeper purple. "I believe in testing potential adversaries." 17 worlds fell quickly. It became boring. "You want a challenge," Nathan realized. "Yes," Ezak confirmed. "So I propose one. A series of 3 trials between our species." "What kind of trials?" "First, physical ability. Second, problem solving. Third, cultural understanding." Ezak leaned forward. "If humans impress me, I may reconsider our plans for your world." "And if we fail?" Nathan asked. "Then conquest proceeds as planned." Ezak's teeth gleamed in what might have been a smile. "Do you accept?" Nathan thought carefully. He had no authority to make such an agreement, but he also recognized the opportunity. "I accept, but I may not be the best human for all trials." "You will select the humans," Ezak agreed, "but you must participate in each trial in some capacity." "When do we start?" "Tomorrow. The physical trial first." Ezak stood, towering over Nathan. "Choose your champion wisely." Back at the command center, Nathan faced angry questions from military and government officials. "You had no authority to agree to these trials," shouted General Davis. "It buys us time," Nathan argued, "and shows they're willing to consider alternatives to immediate conquest." Major Linda Foster, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "What's the physical challenge?" "We should send our best soldier." Ezak didn't specify, Nathan replied. "But I don't think we should focus on winning through strength. The Drakari are physically superior. We need to show them something unexpected." In her corner, Dr. Kate Young, a cultural anthropologist brought in to analyze the alien behavior, nodded thoughtfully. "Nathan's right. This isn't just about the challenges themselves. It's about showing the aliens how humans approach problems differently." President Wilson sighed deeply. "Miller, you've put us in a difficult position, but since we're here now, What do you need for this first trial? Nathan looked around the room. I need someone strong. Yes, but also someone who understands that winning might not be the goal. Major Foster stood up. I volunteer. Nathan studied her for a moment, then nodded. Perfect. Now let's prepare. Tomorrow, we need to show Azak something no other species has shown him before. That night, as humans prepared for the first trial, Azak stood alone on his ship, watching Earth's lights below. For the first time in his long career of conquest, he felt something new. Uncertainty about the outcome. The morning of the first trial arrived with gray clouds hanging low over the field. Major Linda Foster stretched her muscles as she prepared. As one of the military's top combat specialists, she had trained for many situations, but never for facing an alien warrior. Remember, we're not just trying to win, Nathan reminded her as they waited. We need to learn about them. Linda nodded. I understand. This is about information gathering as much as competition. The Drakari ship opened, and Azak emerged with two other aliens. They carried strange equipment that they set up in a large circle on the field. The physical trial begins, Azak announced. Your champion will face my second-in-command, Krell. One of the other Drakari stepped forward. Though smaller than Azak, Krell still towered over Linda. His scales were darker, almost black, with red patterns running across his arms. The trial is simple, Azak explained. Stay within the circle longer than your opponent. Any method is allowed except weapons. Linda looked at the circle, about 30 feet across. I accept the challenge. Nathan watched nervously as Linda and Krell entered the circle. The size difference was alarming. Linda was fit and strong for a human, but Krell had nearly twice her mass and height. The trial began with a signal from Azak. Krell immediately charged at Linda, expecting to push her out easily. But Linda moved like water, sidestepping at the last moment. The Drakari's momentum carried him forward, nearly out of the circle before he stopped himself. Interesting, Azak said quietly to Nathan. Your champion uses the opponent's strength against them. It's a human fighting style called judo, Nathan explained. We developed it because we often face stronger opponents. For 10 minutes, the pattern continued. Krell would attack with overwhelming force, and Linda would redirect it, using minimal energy. The Drakari became visibly frustrated. Why does she not attack? Azak asked. She's waiting, Nathan said, learning his patterns. When Krell charged again, Linda finally changed tactics. Instead of dodging, she dropped low and used his momentum to flip him. The massive alien landed hard outside the circle. The trial was over. Krell rose, clearly angry, but Azak made a sharp gesture that silenced him. Unexpected, the commander said. Most species try to match our strength. Humans had to evolve different strategies. Linda explained, breathing hard from the effort. We're not the strongest species even on our own planet. Azak seemed genuinely curious. Yet you became the dominant species. How? We should show you, Nathan suggested. Can we access your historical database? We could explain better with examples. Surprisingly, Azak agreed. Inside the ship, Nathan and Linda were given access to a room filled with floating screens. Each showed information about different worlds the Drakari had conquered. While pretending to prepare their presentation, Nathan noticed something strange in the historical records. The earliest conquests were different, more desperate, less organized. He found references to another species called the Vorlak that had attacked the Drakari homeworld centuries ago. Look at this, he whispered to Linda. They weren't always conquerors. They were refugees first. Linda's eyes widened. They're doing to others what was done to them. When Azak returned, Nathan took a risk. Before we show you human adaptation, I have a question about the Vorlak. Azak froze. His scales darkened to a deep purple. How do you know that name? Your historical records, Nathan admitted. I noticed your people's first conquests came after their attack on your homeworld. For a long moment, Azak was silent. When he spoke again, his voice was quieter. The Vorlak destroyed half our world in a single day. We had no choice but to become stronger, to take what we needed to survive. So the conquests began as survival, Nathan said gently, not domination. Azak's amber eyes studied Nathan carefully. You seek to understand rather than simply defeat. No other species has attempted this. From outside the room, Krell watched the exchange with growing concern. He activated his communication device. Commander Vex, the human is learning too much. Azak seems affected by their questions. Your orders. Many light years away, Commander Vex of the Drakari High Fleet received the message. Accelerate the timetable, he ordered. Earth must fall within 3 days, regardless of these trials. The second trial began the next morning. This time, the challenge took place inside the Drakari ship in a large circular room with walls covered in glowing symbols. Nathan had chosen Dr. Kate Young, the cultural anthropologist, to join him for the problem-solving trial. The task is simple, Azak explained. This room contains a puzzle from the ancient Drakari tradition. You must arrange the symbols to create a path from start to finish. Kate studied the walls carefully. The symbols seem to have a pattern, but it's not immediately obvious. You have 1 hour, Azak said, then left them alone in the room. Nathan and Kate worked quickly, trying different combinations. The symbols shifted and changed color when touched, some creating chains of light between them. I think it's not just about connecting them, Kate said after 20 minutes of frustration. Look at how some symbols reject others when placed together. It's like they represent opposing forces. Nathan nodded. Maybe it's about balance, not just connection. Outside the room, Azak watched them on a monitor alongside Krell, who seemed agitated. The message from High Command was clear. Krell insisted. We must begin the invasion immediately. These humans show unusual potential, Azak replied, his attention fixed on the screen. They are just another primitive species, Krell argued. Commander Vex grows impatient. Inside the puzzle room, Nathan made a breakthrough. These symbols represent elements in the Drakari world. See how these look like water formations, and these resemble fire. Kate's eyes widened. If we balance the opposing elements instead of trying to create a single path. Working together, they arranged the symbols to create not one path, but 2 parallel paths that maintained perfect balance between opposing forces. As the last symbol clicked into place, the entire room lit up with a harmonious glow. When Azak returned, he couldn't hide his surprise. You solved it differently than any Drakari would have. We noticed the puzzle wasn't about finding one correct path, Nathan explained. It was about creating harmony between opposing forces. Most interesting, Azak. News of the alliance between Azak and the humans spread quickly among the resistance. In a secured underground bunker, Nathan, Linda, and Kate met with President Wilson and his advisors. Azak stood at the center of the room, his massive form making the human furniture look like toys. Commander Vex has ordered 5 more Drakari battleships to Earth, Azak explained, pointing to a holographic map he had projected. They will arrive within 24 hours. And then what? President Wilson asked, his face grim. Global attack. No survivors, Azak said bluntly. Vex believes any show of mercy encourages rebellion. General Davis slammed his fist on the table. We don't have weapons that can touch their ships. How are we supposed to fight? With these, Azak said, placing a small device on the table. It projected technical schematics of the Drakari ships, every weakness, every access code, every vulnerable system. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Azak, the most feared warrior in the Drakari fleet, was giving them everything they needed to fight back. Why? Linda asked, saying what everyone was thinking. Why betray your own people? I'm not betraying my people, Azak replied. I'm saving them. His amber eyes surveyed the room. The endless conquests have made us hated across the galaxy. Vex and his supporters care only for power, Not 3 days after the battle began, it ended. The sky above Earth, which had blazed with weapons fire and exploding ships, finally fell quiet. From the command center window, Nathan watched as damaged Drakari vessels limped into stable orbits.